is given by Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, our director. So his thinking was that modern science somehow missing the study of scientists. Actually, science is a product of scientists, but we are ignoring the study of the origin of the science, how the science itself comes, how the theories are coming. Einstein's theory, Charles' law, Boyle's law, all these theories, they are not written in sky. So that concept which is coming from a subjective domain is being not properly understood in modern science. They want to understand everything in terms of atoms, molecules, particles, but somehow the much deeper aspects of the life are ignored. Because you see, in modern civilization, we are facing much difficulties in terms of rise in the suicide rates. The crime rate is increasing like anything. People are killing each other on the name of nationality or religion or whatever. So they have to understand what is the real nature of life, and life sciences has to contribute a lot in these directions. And if life sciences will limit themselves into physics and chemistry only, then it will not be benefited. So biology has a special role, and life sciences have a special role, and that they have to recognize, and they should not simply follow the path of physicists or chemists. So our director has given this vision to enlighten and give a platform where philosophers, different religious background people, artists, all science, religion, arts, philosophy, they are all branches of the same tree of knowledge. We cannot only give importance to one particular physical sciences and ignore all other part of the reality. So the Science and Scientist Conference is meant to create such a platform where scientists from various background can have a dialogue, philosophers from various background can have a dialogue, and they can come up with a solution to this important problem, that understanding of self, understanding of the world, understanding of the purpose. See, molecules, atoms, they don't have purpose, but life has a purpose. And what is the real purpose of the life? This is also an important question that modern science has to address. Scientist has a purpose behind it when he is doing all these things. What he is searching for? Every living entity is searching for something. What that is, thing that living entity is really searching for, life sciences must address to that. So Science and Scientist Conference is to address the most essential need of the humanity, the real inner hankering, how we can do research into that, and psychologists, biologists, physicists, chemists, philosophers, religionists, everybody are searching that only. What is that thing? And that we have to look for, and how we can understand that, and how we can establish that. Not that fight among each other, for science fight with philosophy, philosophy fight with science, science fight with religion. This is not the need of the society. Every part of the knowledge must contribute to the upliftment of the humanity, and that is what the need of modern suffering civilization. With this, I would like to conclude my talk, and we hope this gathering will come up with some conclusive answers and some progress towards this topic. Thank you very much.
Sincere thanks to Muni and Shanta. I now request dignitaries on the dais to inaugurate the conference by lighting the lamp. Now I request the dignitaries to unveil the conference proceedings. Our heartfelt thanks to all the dignitaries for inaugurating the conference and unveiling the proceedings. May I now request Professor A.K. Mukhopadhyay, Chief Guest of today's function, for the inaugural address. It's over to Professor A.K. Mukhopadhyay.
Bande Sada Sundaram Sri Sadgurum. Bande Sada Sundaram Sri Sadgurum. Bande Sada Sundaram Sri Sadgurum. Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Bangalore University, Dr. Puttaraju, Dr. Walton, Bhakti Vidyamuni and Bhakta Niskam Shanta, and there are many dignitaries of the dais whom I know. It is an honor to be present in this conference of the science and the scientists. About 3,000, 5,000 years back, what Upanishadic Shir saw and realized. That same tradition was revitalized by the same Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about 500 years back. He was born in Bengal and his name personifies what he was, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was the embodiment of the cosmic consciousness in the human body. The interface between the cosmic consciousness and the system-bound consciousness are perfect in him. So he was translating that universal or the trans-universal consciousness in the human body. He brought a revolution in the consciousness arena. When other people before him were debating between the relationship between nature and consciousness, and there are so many schools of consciousness, non-dualism, qualified dualism, he clearly said that distinction between nature and consciousness is irrelevant and not necessary, because he was personification of that cosmic consciousness. He says, when your nature
is elevated or to Radha nature, you are Krishna. So he brought the concept of evolution in the infrastructure which expresses consciousness. Now for continuity of the same idea, consciousness is born out of consciousness. Life comes from life. The same consciousness came to these gurus as Guru Parampara, and Sripad Madhavpuri Maharaj Ji coined an excellent conference, the science and the scientist. Can science explain the scientist? A profound question. Can science explain the scientist? Scientist works with his mind and intellect. And this mind and intellect is driven by his cell. So there is a cell, there is mind, there is intellect. Play with information. And the scientist draws all inspiration, his source of all energy, his scientist consciousness. Scientist also has a life. If his life is disturbed, he cannot do science. So, therefore, information is important, mind is important, intellect is important, self is important. All experience are in the self of the scientist, and the consciousness is important. So if we start addressing what is the scientist and we dissect the elements, we get into these 4 or 5 entities. Now, how the thoughts come in the scientist's mind, an idea comes in scientist's mind, we do not know. We do not know even how a thought comes in ordinary person's mind. Richard Dawkins coined the term unit of thought, means, rhyming with genes. And he developed a school of memetics, just like genetics. But we still do not know what is the origin of this thought. Where from this thought originated? Thought is a form. Form means formations, space and time organizations from information delivered by mind. So no mind, no thought. So mind is a very important tool of the scientist. And we do not know where from the thought comes. It may come from the sensory experiences, it may come from the non-sensory experiences, intuitive ideas, intuitive thought, which Einstein used to believe in. Scientists say every information is in the DNA, is in the gene. So if you know the whole of molecular biology, you know the scientist. But is it true? How do you distinguish a DNA when the man has passed away? There is also the chemical DNA there, but something is missing. That DNA is not working. DNA is not in the functional state. Though chemically it has the same structure, conformationally it has the same structure. But still it does not work. Something is missing. Put that DNA in a thermocycler machine, PCR machine, it will replicate without error. 1,000 times, million times it will replicate. Is it live DNA? No. Put it in a cell as a surrogate DNA. It will start working. But when you integrate it with the host genomes, then it has the ability to translate into messenger RNA and protein. So what was missing in the environment? But when you put in the environment of life, this specific environment, it is not any environment. It is the cell. It is a living cell. You have to put it in a cell which is alive, then that DNA will function, that DNA will translate. Now, what is the relationship of this DNA as a molecule, chemical molecule, DNA as a informational molecule, DNA as a conformational molecule, DNA as a transcription molecule, and DNA as a translational molecule. There are so many gaps, even in the molecular biology, which the scientist has to answer before they say the molecular biology is the ultimate. Now, what is common between genes and memes? Memes means a unit of thought. Information. So, information is more fundamental than genes and memes. In cosmology, we know when the matter arrived, when the lipid arrived, RNA arrived, DNA arrived. We have the chronology of the event at different time scale. But we do not say anything when the information arrived. Was this information there all along? Pre-Big Bang, if the Big Bang theory is correct? Query. A lot of question mark on this Big Bang theory now. Was this information there ab initio? Is there only one universe? Now there are people, scientists say there are multiple universes. Now universe in English is singular. They never say universes. The plural for universe is multiverse, multiple universe. And this multiple universe forms the highest intellectually comprehensive system, the multiversity. Now, the essence from which all these universes are generated, it is the same essence what a cell has as a cognitive unit and what our brain has as an embodiment of consciousness. The primal essence which drives the 10 to the power 11 stars in a galaxy and the 10 to the power 11 galaxies in this universe, the same primal essence drives the 10 to the power 11 neurons, 100 billion neurons and almost similar number of glia in our brain. There is a lot of work on cellular cognition. Bacteria are small but not stupid. There is quorum sensing. There is choice between the lactose and the glucose. There is one single cell which have shown conditioned learning. That means without any nervous system, a cell can learn conditioned learning. There is a choice. The sine qua non of consciousness is having will. Einstein was asked, you know everything, but do you know what you do not know? And he was a simple man. He said, yes, I know. What is that? God's will. I do not know what is God's will. So how that will can be brought into Newtonian will encompasses the whole science. Bhagavad Gita says, Yoga Karmashu Shu Kaushalam. What is that skill which unites that will of God with what I am doing mechanically, which can be explained by classical physics, Newtonian mechanics? How free will come into Newtonian will encompasses the whole science. Yoga Karmashu Shu Kaushalam. Now, how this life form came into this universe? Nobody knows. As you have heard, and there are so many quotations of Sri Madhavpuri Maharaj, that materialistic way of looking at life has come to a threshold and you need new inputs. There is a momentous event in life formation. There is an enclosure. Lipid world has come, the RNA world has come, the DNA world has come. At the time, star galaxies were also born. The universe was going through a problem. What is that problem? Expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. The dark matter responsible for contraction and dark energy responsible for expansion. I am telling you like this as an imaginary story. It is not science. So Earth was in that, the whole universe was in that contraction and expansion dilemma, and Mother Nature was terrified that how to tackle such problem. And at that time, a decision was taken to enclose the DNA.
Different spiritual beliefs, and yet everywhere I went, people were smiling. I was connecting to people. They were being kind. We were communicating, sometimes not in very good language, because all I could speak in English was speaking in English. But people were speak English, and if not, we found